Chapter 4 War. Lilliput seemed like a peaceful place, but Gulliver soon found out it wasn't. One day, the Emperor's secretary came to see him. "We have a problem," he said. "There are two groups of people in Lilliput. The Tramexcans wear high heels and the Slamescans wear low ones. But they are bitter enemies, and both groups want to rule. The Emperor likes low heels at the moment, so the Slamescans have more power. But if he changed his mind, war could break out." "That's terrible," said Gulliver. "And that's not all," cried the secretary. "We are already at war with a nearby island called Blepescu. Blepescu is going to attack us." "Why?" said Gulliver. "Whatever happened?" "It's all about eggs," explained the secretary. "Boiled eggs and a cut finger." Gulliver was astonished. "Eggs?" he said. "How?" The secretary blushed. "Well, many years ago everyone opened their eggs at the beak end. But then the prince cut his finger when breaking his egg open. His father passed a law at once. No one was to crack their eggs at the beak end ever again. Eggs always had to be eaten from the smaller end. Lots of people refused to obey the law. They were ready to die over it, and some were killed. But others fled to Blefuscu because their people still cracked their eggs at the beak end. We have been at war ever since, and now the Blefuscu fleet is going to invade Lilliput. You have to help us," the secretary pleaded. "Please." "All those who open their eggs at the beak end, charge!" Gulliver listened carefully to the sad tale. "I will see what I can do," he said. He tried to find the island of Blefuscu with his telescope. It was easy to spot. A fleet of ships was getting ready to set out. Gulliver counted over 50 warships. "What can I do against so many ships?" "I know. I will need ropes and iron bars," he told the Emperor. Gulliver twisted the ropes together to make them stronger. Then he bent the iron bars into hooks. "Now for the next stage of my plan," he muttered. Heading to the sea, Gulliver waded in and swam almost to Blefuscu. When he rose out of the sea, towering above them, the sailors screamed with fright. Many dived overboard just to escape. Gulliver hooked a rope to each of the ships and tied the ropes together. Then he hauled the fleet back across the sea to Lilliput. 3 cheers for Gulliver! "Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!" Chapter 5 Gulliver in Danger. But the Emperor of Lilliput wasn't satisfied. "I want to take over Blefuscu," he told Gulliver. Gulliver thought that was going too far. "I won't make people into slaves," he said. This made the Emperor cross. Then some messengers arrived from Blefuscu, hoping to make peace. When they met Gulliver, they invited him for a visit. This made the Emperor furious. he said crossly. I suppose you can go if you must. Gulliver thought he would better stay in Lilliput and try to keep the emperor happy. He stayed quietly in his temple until one night he was woken by shouting, "Help, Gulliver! The palace is on fire!" People were frantically fighting the fire, but flames were licking the roof. Gulliver, who was taller than the tallest ladder, threw water over the palace to save it. After this, the emperor was happy again for a while. Gulliver began to enjoy life, although he kept thinking of home. But most people were very kind to him. 300 tailors made him a new blue suit, and 300 chefs cooked him tasty meals every day. That smells good. One evening, the emperor even visited Gulliver with his family. They all sat down to a wonderful feast at Gulliver's table. Will I ever eat full-sized food again? But Gulliver's problems didn't go away. Flimnap, who was in charge of the emperor's money, didn't like Gulliver. He said he cost too much. Your Highness, he eats far too much. I see what you mean. The emperor listened to what Flimnap said. It was true. Gulliver was very expensive. Late one night, Gulliver had a visitor, an important noble from the palace. He kept his face hidden. Listen carefully. Your life is in danger. He had come with a warning. Flimnap is turning everyone against you. Your enemies have written a list of your crimes. They say you are a traitor, he said. Gulliver is not to be trusted. Even worse, they say you are plotting against the emperor. They want you killed. Flimnap wants to set your temple on fire and shoot poisoned arrows at you. Gulliver turned pale. Not all of the nobles want to kill you, the man added. Some say you should only be blinded. But even the emperor wants to give you less food to save money. You must leave now. Chapter 6. Escape Plains. Gulliver didn't waste any money. Gulliver didn't waste any time. Quickly, he scribbled a letter to the emperor. I am off to visit Blefuscu, as I promised, he wrote.